Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Nishmat Ruspas Mordechai. Good morning, good morning. My name is Yaakov Eisen. I wanted to show you what I've done as a Kors HaToiv. He's an artist, and this is his room. Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Apostles to Talmud Chacham v'Yagoin Sham Aretz. That's what it says over there, something like that. Just want to make sure. Not this one. Okay. Hi, Rebelli, no words describe how much I enjoy your shir. Last night, I'm 99% sure that you by mistake started the shir from 5 lines from the bottom of Lamed Ches. So yes, we got a bunch of people. Shlomi Leitner also. Avidir Katz. Shlomi Leitner is here somewhere in the room. I saw him before. Shalom Aleichem. Shlomi. A bunch of emails. Baruch Hashem, people picked up on it. And we, in fact, yesterday we started the shir from Lamed Ches Amud Beis, and then we skipped the whole daf. They came over to me in the koilel. Somebody was watching. He says, "You made a mistake. You started the wrong daf." I said, "No, we had to go back." Daniel Petlach, something like that. Thank you, Rebelli. You are truly one of a kind, Shkoyach, and I appreciate the amount of effort you put into the spreading Torah Tiskul Mitzvahs. I used to not be able to learn the daf without feeling defeated 5 minutes in. Watching your shir has changed more than just my learning; it's changed everything. Dear Eli Stefansky, I hope this email finds you well. I just wanted to take a moment to thank you for your incredible Daf Yomi Shiurim, your ability to break down complex sugyas with such clarity. Humor has been a game changer in my learning. Your Shiurim have made my daily learning something I actually look forward to. I've been following your Shiurim since Yuma Daf 87. I wanted to let you know that on October 8th, while learning Baba Basra 105, Kufay, this is from a chassid, so you didn't write one. Okay, 105, you introduced us to a very memorable moment. Chart 10, with the guy in the bathhouse sporting 6 toes on his left foot. I must admit, I wasn't expecting such a footnote in my Daf Yomi experience. Let me show you that picture. Rabbi, you're not going to believe this Maisa. So here he is. This is Baba Basra of Kufay. If you look over there on the bottom, this is AI generated, and there's a lot of times they have issues with the toes, 6 toes. So he says, interestingly enough, my wife recently gave birth to an adorable baby boy who, like the man in your chart, also has 6 toes on each foot. Turns out this is called polydactyl chveisvas. It's both rare and fascinating. So while I was trying to focus on inheritance laws, I couldn't help but smile at the coincidence. I suppose this is just another way that Yeshurim keep me on my toes, pun intended. Now, I know it's a bit of a delay. I'm not sure if to blame the baby or a difficult daf, but I wanted to finally thank you for all your hard work and for making Daf Yomi both educational and entertaining, your humor, insightful teaching style. If this guy went to Munkach like I did, then this email is also AI, 100%. Your humor and insightful teaching style are a constant source of inspiration. It says kindly, a chassid from a bunker in upstate New York, not giving the exact location, afraid of MDY Monroe bunker hunters. Monroe bunker hunters. Your humor and insightful teaching style are a constant source of inspiration. May you continue to brighten our days and help us navigate the daf with both wisdom and smile. I want to remind the Olam, even if you're in America, especially if you're in America, this is the last day to win a laptop donated. I forgot the guy's name. Anybody? What's his name? Eliezer, what? Ben Ezra. Oh, which also reminds me, I didn't make a note of it, but a tremendous yishur koyach to Yossi Dahari from Manchester and Rabbi Dushinsky for putting out the spread that they did on Friday. It was very, very nice. It was high-end food and cakes and wine and all sorts of things. So yishur koyach gadol, they made a, I showed it, no? Okay, let me see if there's anything else that we have to. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of emails. Okay. So we'll jump into the, unfortunately, I know that you guys want to hear more emails. We'll just jump into it. The Masechta, sponsored Refuah Shelaima for Yosef Chaim Shmuel ben Alte Nechama from his grateful family. The Masechta Hatzlacha, Barukhniyos Ubegashmiyos, has Masechta Larry Cohn in memory of Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim, who started learning Daf Yomi at age 70 and continued for 32 years until he was nifter. The Masechta for the unity of the Jewish people. Masechta sponsored by Glenn Esterson with love and gratitude from Wilmington, North Carolina. Thank you for enriching my life with Torah. Parnassa chodesh, Nishmat zechariah ben Moshe Nishmat zechariah bas Yosef. Parnassa chodesh is zechus for our children and tremendous parnassa. Parnassa chodesh Nishmat Yafa bat Simcha. Refuah Shelaima Yisrael Yaakov ben Malka. Parnassa chodesh zechus parnassa berevach for Baruch Tzvi ben Shoshan Aleah. Parnassa chodesh Kidnovations LLC in honor of Uncle Elchanan Fishel zechus for Akiva Simcha Ben Fayga Shidduch for Refuah bas Yafa and thank you the Rebbitzen Stefansky. Parnassa Shavua Yitzihal in honor of our oldest grandson Shua's upshare. May grow in Torah and Midas. Amen. Parnassa Yomi Rachmil Seplowitz Nishmas Imi Mirosi Nese Bazev on her 9th yahrzeit. Parnassa Yomi Laser Raskin Nishmas Biyomin Rial Ben Gershon Yeshaya. Art of the month for zechus for rebellion, the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many, and in honor of Yossi Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work that they do. Boisai, here we go with Daf Mem Amud Beis, 7 lines from the bottom, I think, unless I don't remember. Okay, Makir Matem Boisai. As a public service announcement, it's not 100% locked in, but l'chayra, I am flying to America tomorrow afternoon. So if that's the case, then tomorrow's the last year. I'm saying this for the people also there's some people coming, it's vacation out in America, and people have been asking if I'm going to be here. So tomorrow is the last day, and I'm leaving Utah. Sunday. I don't think I get back to Israel until like Tuesday. It takes literally 2 days in each direction. Because once you get to America, it's 5 hours to get there. So like you take I'm getting to America like 9 o'clock at night. I'm leaving New York the following morning. So that takes up half a day. You know how it goes. Anyway, so Nachamal, tomorrow, l'chayra, is my last day. Not ever, for now. Yes.
Share will be from there, or you'll have somebody else teach?
What we do always. The same thing that we've been doing for the last 6 years. Yeah. Makirim Atamoisai. Huh? No way. Who? Ah. Shalom Aleichem. That's your dad? Shalom Aleichem, Rabbi Leitner. Where do you live? Ah, very nice. Okay. Welcome. Very good. We have an interesting sugya today. One of the things we are going to be dealing with is, let's say, Adam come and say that a woman was mizana, let's say. And if a woman's mizana, l'chayra, we have to kill her. Come 2 other Adam, and they do hazama. They say, no, you're lying, yimanu yisem. Now, there's actually 2 components to what they're testing. Component number 1 is that she has to die. She's a eshesish. Component number 2 is that let's say that falls through, that for whatever reason they can't kill her, but she still becomes usher to her husband. So the question is, can they claim, how could you kill us? Maybe we only came to say that she's usher to her husband. Yes, you're right. At the end of the day, the Bezdin is going to kill her, but that's not what we meant. What we meant is we wanted her to be usher on her husband. We don't want to kill her, really. We don't care. Yeah, if she dies, she dies. No, that's not what we came for. Is this such a taina? In Azam, is this such a taina? And the Gemara says yes. It's an excellent taina, and we're going to see. So now, the Gemara, we're starting off with 4 sources for the idea. Actually, we're not going to start off there. Until we get there. It takes 3 lines. Makirim atem. One of the things that we ask these Eidim that come in to testify in Bezdin, do you know him? You recognize him? Who is he? Torah Baron, Makir Matem. Do you know him? Nachri Harag. Did he kill a Nachri? Idol worshiper. Now, I've seen this a few times. I saw this in New York, and I saw this in Chicago. I saw a guy waiting for a bus on Shabbos. tzitzis, hat, the whole thing, like as if it's like a Monday afternoon. And I realized this guy wasn't Jewish. He's wearing the hat, everything, whatever he stole from the shul, a long rekel, the hat. I'm serious. Tzitzis coming out. I looked a little closer. No, this guy's not Jewish, but he could have. In New York, you have it all the time. You have goyim gmurim going around on Purim. They go around in shuls. They collect money. How do you know? Just because he's wearing, you have Arabs, Rahman al-Islam, they're dressed up and like Haredim, they put a sefer in the dash. They come in, they kidnap like that. How do you know this guy is a yid? How do you know he's chayiv? How do you know he killed somebody that you chayiv misan? Yisrael Arag. It's racing boy. Did you give him Asra? This is amazing. We're going to learn some halachas and Asra that I don't think anybody ever thought of. This is one. Kibul olav Asra. Hitter atzme lemisa. These are two things that are incredible about Asra. When you warn somebody, hey, if you do this, if you're going to kill that guy, you are going to die. Did he say okay? What was his response? He heard it. He understood it. Did he accept it upon himself? Did he say, I know I'm going to die, and Afal PK, I'm so upset at this guy, I want to kill him, I don't care if I die. Did he say that? I'll give you a mashal. What if a guy today, Mamash today, you tell a guy, listen, Shabbos, I don't know, you start screaming at him, you say, listen, if you do this and this, malacha on Shabbos, if Mashiach comes tomorrow, and I really hope he comes tomorrow, if Mashiach comes tomorrow, they will kill you. He says, I don't care. I don't care. And Mashiach comes tomorrow, and they establish a bezdin. You kill this guy, you don't kill this guy. That's unbelievable. What he just said is amazing. I'm serious. Elvis is tremendous. Elvis. Chazak. Anybody agree with him? He said it's a smachta. He doesn't really count on Mashiach coming. So the Shach says like Elvis. I mean, what's he I don't like that. The Shach doesn't say like Elvis. Shach says like who? What's your name? Elia. Shach says like Elia.
Mine like that.
The Shach and Elvis agree. Now I'm going to say, Stefansky said that Elvis is the Shach. Whatever. Okay. Why? Because that's not hitter atzmi lemisa. He's not mamish accepting upon himself the death penalty. He knows that there's no bezin today. What are the chances Mashiach is coming in his lifetime? He doesn't really believe it. So that's not hitter atzmi lemisa. He knows everything. He understood the whole thing. The bottom line is he's not mater atzmi lemisa. Other achronim argue, but that's what the Shach says. Hey, Miss B'toich Kidei Dibur. This is also incredible. It literally, there shouldn't be a 3-second difference between the warning and the killing. The warning and the Chil Shabbos. Why? Because if there's more than a few seconds, maybe he forgot what you told him. It's unbelievable. Now, the concept is that this guy is Mamish Ovid Avodah Zarah. Okay? But a Smi Avad. What kind of Avad? L'Par Avad. Did he do the Par or Lamarkulis Avad? Which one did he do? Obameh Avad. What style did he do in that particular Avodah Zarah? Bezibuach, Bekitur, Benisok, did he spill wine? Did he shech? What did he do? B'shtachava, did he bow to it? Omar Ulam Enayin L'Asra Min HaTorah. How do we know the whole idea of Asra? And the Gemara is going to bring 4 sources. And the Gemara, in fact, says all 4 sources are good. We need all 4 of them. We're talking about Arayis. Person marries his own sister. V'ra eser vasa. He sees her erva. As the Gemara to Beria Talyum Milsa. Does it have to do with seeing? This has to do with doing, not with seeing. Elad shiaru taimo shel davar. We're talking about Torah is saying V'ra eser vasa, that they showed him, they explained to him the Isser and what he's going to get. When a person is over in Arayis with his own sister, he doesn't get Misa's Bezin. He gets Misa b'dei Shomayim. He gets Malchus, but he doesn't get Misa. So since HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't need to know what this guy knows and doesn't know, he knows what's in his head. So there's no Asra for Karas. You're not helping out Hashem. You don't warn the guy when it comes to Karas. So Mela Tneu Inyan Lamalka's top of Mem Aleph Amud Aleph. We are 40 daf into the Masechta, 40 days. Unbelievable. Tneu Inyan Lamalka's. So therefore, we take this passage and we say that in order to get Malkus, you have to have Asra. I'm assuming based on this Gemara, it was very, very difficult to give people Malkus, very difficult to give people Mrs. Bezdin, very difficult.
70 once in 70 years.
Because no, I'm saying this whole idea, not that there's no murderers, there's a lot of murderers, unfortunately. But the Hasra has to be Toich Kidei Dibur. You're talking about enough to say, Shalom Alecha Rabbi Moiri, whatever it is, 2-3 seconds. And if you say it and the guy pauses with the knife, and 5 seconds later kills, it's not Asra. So if you look over here on the chart, it's kedai to look at the chart because it's going to help us out in the sugya. So we just spoke about arayis achoisoi. What's the punishment? You get malchus. Says the Gemara, I have another source. V'chi yazid ish areyeyu. V'chi yazid, it doesn't say hazed. Hazed is in the past. If the person was amazed, he did it deliberately. No, he's doing it deliberately now. V'chi yazid ish areyeyu laharga ba'arma, says Rashi. It's a lashon that he's doing it now. Huh? He's doing it, as he's doing it, he is amazed. He's amazed as he's doing the Aveira. The Aveira Bishmal. Oh, so let's look at this now. And that's referring to a murderer. And a murderer receives Sayif, which is lower down on the, if you have to choose a Misa, this is the easy one, Sayif. It's with the sword. The Gemara brings another source. The very Bishmal Tana. They found him gathering the wood, the famous Mekoishesh Eitzim that got Misa. What is that? That's Chilul Shabbos. And what kind of Misa? You get Skila. It goes together. All I want is that. No, I don't have a choice. The next one is Shehisru Boy. It says Mekoishesh. He didn't do it in the past. He's doing it now. He's Mekoishesh right now. In other words, the Asra is there, the warning is there, great. The Bay Rebbe Tana, Adavar She'ina, and that's by Naira Marasa. Naira Marasa is an engaged Naira. She's 12 years old, between the age of 12 and 12 and a half. And somebody comes and testifies that she was Mizana. The punishment is Skila, Naira Marasa gets Skila. And it says over there, Al-Devar. What's the Var? Al-Asherina, what's the Var? Al-Iske Dibur. It's a hint that you get the Einish when there's speaking done here. Somebody spoke and somebody warned you, a warning, a verbal warning. Al-Devar is a verbal warning. Says the Gemara, a simple Tzrichusa here. We need all four. So what do we have? Again, we have Erva, which is Malchus, we have Ritzicha, which is Sayif, and we have Chil Shabbos, which is Skila, and then we have Naira Amurasa, which is Skila. We have four things. It's going to be easy now when the Gemara says, and why do you need two Skilas? Now we have it in front of us, we see there's two Skilas. There's Chil Shabbos and Naira Amurasa. Says the Gemara, to understand this is what we understood yesterday. It's very, very simple. The lighter the case, the less warnings you need, the less, in other words, let's take the extreme example. The worst of the worst is a guy that tries to convince somebody else to do Avodah Zarah. That's the worst guy ever. Him, I would kill him without warning, without anything, without starting with a zechus. All the chumras that we made on a regular Ritzah, we try to get him out of it. We drop all that and we try to kill this guy. Why? Because he's so severe. In other words, somebody that's on the opposite side, let's say a choisoi, only gets malchus, it's not so severe. So I would say, you don't have to do asra. The Torah says you do have to do asra there, that's amazing. You have to do asra. But that's only, we try to get her out of it. We try to not give malchus, because it's lower down on the severity, so it's lower down. Let's try to get her out of it. How? You have to do asra, and it has to be with Turkey Dibur. But somebody that shot somebody in the head, you need asra. Maybe fakert, kill him without asra. Everybody should understand on their own that you don't kill another human being. So you didn't give him asra. Get rid of this guy. He's a bad guy. Get rid of him. In America, there's no asra. Anywhere there's no asra, you get the death penalty in America without asra. Somebody kills another person, you kill a cop, whatever it is, death row, Shabbat Yisrael. Hasra, Takni Dibur, no. So that's why I need the pasuk also. I think that the second pasuk is, you don't get asra over there. So that's why I need a pasuk by Ritzicha to say that you do need asra there. Because oh, that's one misas bezin that's very, very easygoing. You just chop off his head. But it's not so severe like throwing a guy off a 2-story building and then stoning him and then hanging him. That's already very severe. Shows like Hashem is not happy with this guy. Not happy. Maybe you got to get rid of him right away without asra. Maybe there's no asra, tzricha. I need another pasuk. So why, in fact, do I need 2 of these psukim on the bottom? One in skila by Chil Shabbos, one skila by Naira Marasa. Says Gemara, so if we go back to this thing, according to Reb Shimon, sreifa, if you get misa sreifa, which is you have to drink this hot lead, that's the most severe. So maybe the most severe, you don't need asra. It's so severe, you don't need asra. Yes, you need asra by Chil Shabbos. It's only skila. It's not sreifa. Therefore, I need another pasuk to tell me. By the way, you were right yesterday. The guy that just walked in, he's not. How you doing? You're a little right. You were right. We're going to get there. You asked me a good question yesterday. I was wrong. You were right.
I don't remember the question.
I know, because there was a bunch of them. The good one. No, you asked me how come. What if the guy, the 2 Adam said it was the middle of the month? Does the middle of the month have anything to do with it?
Oh, right.
The Gemara says yes. So you need a special passage to talk about Sreifa. The Rabbanon, you're right. Skila is more chomer. Once I know skila, that's most chomer that needs asra. Certainly Sreifa, that's less chomer needs asra. Yeah, you try to get the guy off the hook. But milsadat, we have a chomer because of the crow. We have a Yosef. We said yesterday something that you could learn because of chomer. Sometimes the Torah goes out of its way and mentions it anyways. So just say the most severe. Even they need asra. Certainly Sayyif, certainly Malchus. You're right. The Torah could have just gotten away with saying one pasuk by skila, or 2 psukim, or one pasuk, and we would learn everything. But the Torah likes to repeat itself if it's something that you learn in a kal v'chomer. The guy has to say, I know all about this. I went to yeshiva. I know I'm going to get misa. I don't care. How do you know? You should kill the guy that's dead. Hameis, he's dead already. So if he's dead, what are you killing? Obviously he's alive. So what does hameis mean? It's talking about that he says he agrees to die. Here's the big chiddush. Says Rav Chanan that when 2 Adam come along and they say, this woman who's engaged means she received money for Erusin, so she becomes an Eishes Sish. She's not married 100% yet. She was never with her husband. They haven't seen each other for almost a year, but she's Eishes Sish. She was Mizana, so we kill her. The Torah says, "Basisim loy kasher zamam." What do you do to the Edom? If we find out that the Edom are lying, they were somewhere else, we do to them exactly what they wanted to do to her. What do they want to do to her? They want to kill her. So they come and they say, no, we didn't want to kill her. That wasn't our intention. Our intention was that she should be usher to her husband. There are situations where you don't kill the woman. You can't. The asra wasn't good. I don't know what. But we know that she was mizana. So she's usher to the husband. That's all we wanted to do. So Mamela, he says, you can't kill them. That's not kasher zama. Kasher zama means that you do what they intended to do. Zama. That was their intent. That wasn't their intent. They could say, all we wanted to do was make her usher and her husband. Says Gemara Asra, but they told her specifically, you're going to die. They gave her asra. Says the Gemara, "De lo yasru ba." They didn't give her asra. Says the Gemara, "Lo yasru ba heichi mikatla." So, how in the world would she die if there's no asra? You tell me a major chiddush. What's your big chiddush? Even though she's going to die, and therefore you would think they should die because no, but they didn't intend to kill her, so therefore they don't die. But they didn't even intend to kill her. So then what's the chiddush? Of course they don't die. You're telling me 2 Eidim that came, they didn't even do asra, they didn't try to get, they didn't do anything. So if they didn't do anything, why would we have a havamina that they die? Well, you need Rav Chanan to tell me this? Any kid in Cheder knows that Eidim without asra, let's say Chil Shabbos, they come to Bezin, this guy was Mechal Shabbos. Was that asra? No. So what do you want? So go home. There's no asra. Tell you, Omer Rav Chanan, you don't kill them. Of course you don't kill them. There's no asra. So it says the Gemara, unbelievable. They didn't give asra, but we're talking about the wife of a Talmid Chacham. And a wife of a Talmid Chacham, as we learned in this Masechta, doesn't need asra, according to Rabbi Yossi only. The Sanhedrin Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Chaver ein tzarich asra, lefi shelo nitnu asra. The whole purpose, what's the purpose of asra? According to Rabbi Yossi, Elo lahavchin ben shoigi lemezid, to tell the person, hey, what you're doing, if you're going to make tea on Shabbos like this, you're mevashel, and you should know what you're doing is amazing. You chayiv misa. Sometimes you have to explain to a person. Sometimes they don't know. No. This is the wife of Talmid Chacham. There's a ma'isa. Said they say it's a ma'isa shay in Chevron. They love this ma'isa that the Rabbi Yasser was a Masad Kiddushin, Rav Farbstein, Rashiva, and the chassan came without a ring. He forgot the ring at home. Instead of delaying the whole wedding for an hour, they asked in the audience, they said, is there a woman here that could just lend the ring? We'll do makna, kinyan, take the ring. Don't worry, we'll give it back to you after the chuppah, akol b'seder, let's get the show on the road. So she gave the ring. Then Rav Farbstein came to the chassan by the Yichur and said, listen, I thought about it, it doesn't work. Why? She didn't learn in yeshiva, she doesn't know anything about kinyanim, she wasn't makna, she wasn't soymech das. Who's going to give, what woman is going to give away a ring like that? There's no gemiras das, there's no... Take my wife's ring. My wife is Eishes Chaver. And Eishes Chaver understands kinyanim. That's what he told her. It's okay. So V'kivan, so Meila, we're talking about the wife of a Talmid Chacham, and the wife of a Talmid Chacham doesn't need asra, and these people could have killed her because since she doesn't need asra, so when they come to testify that she was mizana, interesting, she's not even married. Okay, she's an Eira Murasa. She's Eishes Chaver. She knows halachas, and so she should die even without asra. But they could say, no, we didn't come to kill her. We came to make her usher on her husband. Rabbi Yisai, here's a beautiful video. There's one flaw in this video. It's a great video. Just the halacha in the voting, you'll see there's a little bit of a flaw. Let's see if you can pick it up. Here we go. Oh no, not this one. Next one. Sorry. This guy.
The testimonies that Ruvain desecrated the Shabbos have been received. The courtroom now moves to vote.
Wait, but there was no warning. The witnesses did not warn me that what I'm doing is forbidden on Shabbos.
Unfortunately for you, in this courtroom, we rule according to the ruling of Rabbi Yossi ben Rabbi Yehuda, who believes that a chaver does not need a warning.
And you consider yourself a chaver. You make sure you get the third aliyah on Shabbos because you are a Talmid Chacham.
We have proof that you said, I don't study Daf Yomi because I'm a Talmid Chacham. So of course you know the laws of Shabbos, right? And therefore...
The results. Guilty.
12 against 11 is not good.
No!
I gotta stop studying the daf in bed before I go to sleep.
Oh yeah. Very nice. 12-11 is not the right thing. You need in order to be chayiv misa, you have to be up by 2, not 1. So first of all,
wasn't chaverim.
huh?
Yes, the Bezer wasn't chaverim.
No. The artist. It reminded me when I saw this video, it reminded me of a very emotional time that all of us, a lot of us had when we were Messiah Masechtas Brachas. It's the first Masech of the cycle, so we made a big siyum when we brought in the famous Rosh Yeshiva, Rebbitzen Kaplan. That's Reb Nachman Seltz's Rosh Yeshiva. And he gave a speech, and there wasn't a dry eye in the room. His wife was just nifter, literally a few months before that speech. And described to us how hard it is to take care of the kids, and all the kids are mourning, and there's a lot of tsar in the house, and he had to feed them and bathe them, the whole thing, take over her job. And they didn't go through a pashut tkufa of her being sick, the whole thing, very, very draining. And he even said some kids would sleep with him in the bed, they had trauma, he described the whole thing, it was bad. I remember being very emotional when he was speaking. And then he described how he took upon himself he was doing Daf Yomi, and one night with his last koiches, he's trying to do the daf, and all of a sudden his daughter comes and wakes him up at 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning, she shakes him, ta, and he wakes up and he's holding a Gemara in his hand. It's on his face. She says, "You didn't do the daf yet. You didn't do the daf yet." It was unbelievable. Anyway, so that's this guy with the. I wanted to show you this video. Just happened yesterday. I just thought it was interesting. Punkt yesterday. Very into the politics these days. This is the vice president.
If not, on this vote, the yeas are 50 and the nays are 50. The Senate being equally divided, the vice president votes in the affirmative, and the nomination is confirmed.
Yeah. The Secretary of Defense, yeah. So it's not din in nefashos. Maybe it is the defense, but they're not. Yeah, but they're not killing anybody. They're not killing anybody. So if you're up by one, it's 50-50, and he's the deciding vote. Everything is givaldic. Okay. She is the.
You said she's not married. How would she be married? She's only.
No, she's married to this girl.
She's a knowledgeable woman.
What does it say over? What's the lashon here? Saying she's 12 years old. She's very knowledgeable. Okay, right. There's a lot of even a 12-year-old. You grow up in a you're from birth, and these are Isser Shabbos to make a fire. You don't need asra for certain things. It's obvious to you that this is asr. He's saying that she herself, she's not a married woman. She's not the wife of a chaver. She's a isha chavera. She herself, elo b'isha chavera. Very good. Ari says b'isha chavera means she herself is very knowledgeable. I don't know.
You don't need asra.
In certain things.
Basically.
Well,
the whole thing got the win.
like one of the videos they made was that biting your lips on Shabbos is chayiv, skila. Biting your skin off your lips on Shabbos. You see, you don't even know. Certain things are Isser Shabbos that people don't know. If you bite your skin off your lips, it could be Isser D'oraisa.
That's a sign the person does that kind of thing. They're usually because they're mental.
No, it's not mental. It's a bad habit. It's a bad habit. I have it also. So I'm mental. Because once in a while I have a dry lip and yeah, shkoyach. We're all mental. Good. Shkoyach. Thank you. In public, just called me a meshugana. You know what? At home I have even the certificate. I can show you. It's not. Yeah. Zog the Gemara. But I'm saying people don't know. They bite their nails, whatever they do. It's a thing. I don't understand what you're saying. Certain things people don't realize that it's a Shabbos. You have to tell them. Certain things, to make a fire on Shabbos, to cook on Shabbos, most frum people know. There are things that they don't know. They don't know.
So now you have to mechalik what they know, what they don't.
You know that on Shabbos, I saw my sons, both of them, washing their hands. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that the direction that you're putting the water on is hot water. And by us, we have one of those, it's not like in America, we don't have, it's automatic hot. So as soon as you put it on the hot, the machine goes on, the fire goes on, right? Yeah, it's a show you. Right. So they're arguing with me if that's the hot, cold. After Shabbos I went and it was the hot. So they've been doing, show you. I'm just saying. That's right. But I'm just saying, people don't know. This isn't, we should turn it off. We should. It's one thing. Yeah, but I don't put the blech on the thing. I forgot to light the candles on Shabbos. You don't need to turn it on. The Shabbos. You're joking, right? I should do the normal thing what everybody does. Yeah, I forgot to buy the food. I had to go to Mendy. Hey, you have a piece of fish? Yeah, okay, shkoya.
You should go away to Shabbos, okay?
I should. You heard what he said. Regular people turn it off. Regular people, yeah. Okay. Shkoyach. We couldn't open up the refrigerator the Shabbos because we forgot to push it. Oh yeah, you should. Shkoyach. If I remembered all the stuff that I was supposed to do, yeah.
It goes back to the certificate.
No, it goes back to you're busy. Next. And I'm saying this week I chapped how much my wife does. Yeah. Zog the Gemara. I have no idea where we are. Okay, 10 minutes. Wow, remember that screen? 10 minutes. Sorry. Oh, it's still here. Oy the kivin, we're like 5 lines from where it becomes very wide. The kivin the inuloi mikteli I echem ikatla. Says Gemara, we have a yisoid. This is like preparation for the next Masechta Makkos. The yisoid is that in order to die, the kivin the inu loy miktele I echem miktela. If the edim don't die, then she doesn't die. Why? Because havila edus shiata yochel azima. Any testimony that you cannot bring the edim to the same punishment as the defendant, it's not even edus. Forget it. There's no. You can't kill her. You can't. Since you can't kill them, you can't kill her. Says Gemara, that's exactly what we're trying to say. Rav Chana is just saying you should know that you cannot kill the edim. Why? Our intent. You have to read our mind. You can't read our mind. And we tried not to kill her, but to get her usher on her husband. So therefore, Rav Chanan says, yes, therefore you can't kill her. Elabisha says Gemara Bam Kasha. Elabisha Chaver the Kaimel the Mikdalali with the Rebbe. So if so, like Rav Nachman says, any from woman who knows the halachas. So according to Rabbi Yossi, how's it possible that you kill an Naira Marasa? They know the Hasra. You don't have the master. The Edom are going to claim that they only try to make her usher on her husband. And maybe since you can't kill them, you can't kill her, and the whole parish of Naira Masa goes out the window. Says Gemara, no. They cannot claim that they came to make her usher on her husband because she's already usher on her husband because there's another set of Edom that testifies she was Mizani yesterday. That part, the Isser part is done. Now we come, so why are you coming again? She's already us. You're coming again to say that she is Chayv Misa. Says Gemara, that anybody that's mizana with her, she can never marry that person, even if she gets divorced. So all we came to testify is that the second Nayef is also us on her. Says Gemara, no. She's in some Boil Rishon. She was with the first guy twice. Time number 1, she becomes us with her husband. Time number 2 makes her Chayv Misa. Inami. She's in some mikrevel. You cannot say that they're coming to say that she's usher on the noyef. The noyef happens to be your brother. So what are they coming to say? That she's chayiv misa. But the question is, this is a technical question. Why are we talking about a 12-year-old who's engaged? Just talk about a regular ish. It's the same exact story. A regular ish. Come to Edom and say she was mizana. The Edom will say, no, we didn't want to kill her. We wanted to say that she's usher on her husband. Afilu Tsunami. So Gemara, you're right, in Ochanami. We're coming to say a greater chiddush. The greater chiddush is that even though they don't even know each other, they never lived together, they're just engaged. Time of the Gemara, he gives her money, whatever, he gives her a ring, and then they don't see each other for a year. The Edom could still say, we didn't come to kill her, we came to say she's usher on this guy she never lived with. So it's a bigger chiddush. Here we go. This is the Mekoishish. Oh, I forgot to show these. Okay, the Mekoishish. Here, hold on. Mekoishish is the guy that's gathering wood. And his Isha Chavera, you see, she's not even married. She's just very, very smart. Says Gemara like this. Did he kill her? Did he kill the guy? Yeah, we have a machlokes between the two Edom. Two Edom come and say, we saw Reuven kill Shimon. One guy says with the sword, the other guy says with the axe. Here you go. He says with the sword or with an ariron. Ein ze nachon. So Rabbi said, just to recap, because we're gonna, please remember this. We're not gonna need it, but it's geschmack to remember. How do you know, where in the Torah does it say that you ask 7 questions? You do 7 chakiras. Where does it say in the Torah? But the Rashi 7 times. How do you know you do bedikas? This is a good one. Anybody? Vihine emes nachain. Emes nachain. It says it twice. Great. So I'm just pointing out why the Gemara uses the lashon nachem, but we're going to need exactly what I said, maybe on Amud Beis. Ein ze nachain, meaning it's not a good edus. You have to be on the same page when it comes to the murder weapon. You can't say, oh, the murder happened with a gun. No, it happened with a knife. That's not good testimony. But the guy says, oh, he's the yeshiva guy. He's wearing black. No, he's a shegitz. He's wearing white. No, that's a good edus. Why? Because when it comes to the murder, they're on the same page. When it comes to side things, exactly what jacket he was wearing, the color of the car. You ask the guy, what car was it? I think it was a Toyota. The other guy says, no, it was a Tesla. Okay, that nobody makes it. That's a side point. That's not what happened. He drove away in that car. So they got confused on the type of the car. But the murder weapon, you have to know. So the Gemara says, Meisvei, you're telling me that if they make a mistake in the clothing, that's okay. We keep the testimony. And now this is what we're looking for. One says he's wearing a black clothing, white clothing. A second ago we said zenachin. It's good testimony. Now we're saying it's not good. In other words, they have to be on the same page when it comes to the clothing. So if you want to be doichek, you could say that he killed him with let's say a scarf. He choked him to death, and that's the murder weapon. So you asked him, what color was the murder weapon? Black or white? The Hainu Saif, Arian, that's exactly what the same case as a sword. Toshma, he had, here, Kelev Shchayrim, Kelev Levanim, here, Yishmak. He's wearing a black suit, a white suit. What kind of shoes was he wearing? So, if he says white, Ein Zenochin. One says black, one says white, Ein Zenochin. He had those yeshiva shoes that have a spitz, you know those corner things? Yeah. Here, like this. We have one. We have a picture. No, it was over here. Oh, yeah. This is a shoe. Something like that. He killed him with the shoe. I'm saying you want to be doichik. Toshma. Oh, it says in our Mishnah that Ben Zakkai, he asked Adam, how thick were the stems of the figs? No. So that's the side point. Obviously, he didn't kill him with the stem of a fig. It's not the murder weapon. So what is it? It's something that was next to the murder scene. Do you notice the figs on the tree? What size? No. We needed to know because that was how he's Michal Shabbos. He didn't kill anybody. He was Michal Shabbos. The halacha called miktel. So I want to know what did the fig look like? Says Gemara, nice try. There was a murder scene. It wasn't a Chil Shabbos. Check this out. He took a branch. Here, let me zoom in on this. He made it nice and sharp, and then he killed him with it. It's not the fig. It's from the fig tree. Toshma. No, we're not talking about a branch, we're talking about the fig itself. Uktsel dakin, uktsel gasin. Do you need to see this picture? You know what uktzin are, here. They're dak, here, dak. It's got, whatever it is. So you see that we're not talking about the tree itself, we're talking about the fig. The actual color was black, the fig was black. It was white. Great. You brought me a raya from Ben Zakkai that he asked a question about figs, and that's that's like the side point. It's not the murder weapon. He actually says that you have to be extremely careful with bedikas. The Edom have to be on the same page when it comes to bedikas, just like you have to be on the same page with chakiras. But that's a das yachid. It's only Ben Azai, nobody else. Ben Zakkai. Now I ask the Gemara, my Ben Zakkai, who is this person? We know there's a famous person in Shas called Rebbitzen Ben Zakkai. The Mishnah calls him here Ben Zakkai. Is it the same person? The Gemara says yes. The Gemara then says Ben Zakkai was when he was not the chosh of a person he was. Later on in his life, he became Rabbi Yechiel Ben Zakkai. Says the Gemara, Eli Rabbi Yechiel Ben Zakkai, mi have a Sanhedrin. He wasn't even in the Sanhedrin at the time. But Tanya called Shloisef Rabbi Yechiel Ben Zakkai, Meyo ve'esrim shana. Rabbi Yechiel Ben Zakkai lived 120 years. Arba'im shana osak biprakmatio. He was a businessman. Arba'im shana lomad. 40 years he learned Torah. Arba'im shana limid, and 40 years he taught Torah. Rabbi Isai, you hear what's going on here? He was 40 years a businessman. Later on, it seems like he did, I don't want to say did tshuva, but he went and he learned Torah for 40 years. And only afterwards he went and became a big Rosh Hashiva and taught Torah. Who else in history was like that? Everybody's going to say Rebbe Akiva. Rebbe Akiva. Rebbe Akiva. Now who else? Rabbi said, what other Tana had the same thing? What other Tana started when he was 40? He was a businessman until he was 40, learned Torah for 40 years, and then taught Torah for 40 years. What other Tana? This is 10,000 points, Rabbi say. Hillel Hazakin. Hillel Hazakin also started when he was 40. Yeah, okay, he was far from a businessman. But he started when he was 40. It's unbelievable. The Chazon Ish says from here, listen to this. I think you can make the diuk yourself. I noticed this also, but he says much better than me. It says that he learned Torah for 40 years. That means he wasn't a Rav for those 40 years. The Chazon Ish says, when a person takes a shtela, he should make sure he knows what he's doing, that he's learning for 40 years. And he brings a raya from the Chavetz Chaim. It says the Chavetz Chaim learned for many, many years. Then afterwards, when he was older, then he came out and then he had the influence that he had.
Hillel was really learning before.
We don't know that.
We do, he was on the roof.
That was when he was 40. So here, we're trying to prove that Hillel, that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai could not have been Ben Zakkai. Why? Because look, here we go. This is the bottom part is Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, right? He's 40 years, he was doing business. 40 years he learned Torah. He was on the floor over there learning from a Rebbe, sitting in a chair. And then 40 years he was chashiv, he was a dayan. But guess what? 40 years, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai lived after the Churban. You see, like a little bit after the Churban. You see where it says Churban? He lived a tiny drop afterwards, let's say. 40 years before the Churban, the blue box on top, they never did Dinei Nefashos. There was no Sanhedrin anymore. The Sanhedrin went from the Lishkas HaGazes, here, check this out, which is down here. Lishkas HaGazes, this room over here, and they moved out to Chanus, so there's a place called Chanus. So for 40 years, they weren't even dealing, there was no capital punishment. So how's it possible that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, who lived after the Churban, dealt with capital punishment? That had to be at least 41 years before that, and 41 years before that he was learning on the floor. He wasn't a diet. They didn't do penalties. Of course they did. How come they didn't do Dinei Nefashos? Because too many murderers, you hear this? Too many murders, they couldn't deal with it. Let HaKadosh Baruch Hu deal with it. It says Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai made a takana after the Churban. So Mele, he couldn't have been in a time period when they were doing Dinei Nefashos. Ella, the Gemara now says, Ben Zakkai Dalma, it's somebody else. It's not Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Karle Rebbe, Ben Zakkai, Rebbe, the author of the Mishnah, would put in his Mishnah, he would call him Ben Zakkai. He would call him Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. But Tanya says the Gemara, but that doesn't make sense. It says, Maisu Badak, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, books him. The same story. Doesn't make sense to somebody else. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, checked with the stems of a fig for a murder case. He was there. You're right. He was a Talmud in that period. He said something good. He said, check the pitch, check the thickness of the uktim. And they said, and they named that chap, they named it after a Talmud. So, and what was his name then? Then his name was Ben Zakkai, not Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. The Gemara says, Amud Beis. When he was learning, his name was Ben Zakkai. When he taught Torah, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, then he was a Rebbe. Ben Zakkai, and in the Mishnah, Rebbe called him Ben Zakkai Hashem Dibikara. That was his original name when the story happened. If a story happened with Reb Chaim Kanievsky when he was a bacher in yeshiva, they call him Chaim Kanievsky walked. You don't say that. You said Reb Chaim Kanievsky when he was in yeshiva, that you give him covet, even though then he was only 17 years old. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai al Shem Dahashta. In the Brisa, it does call him with his full name, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, but he's only a Talmud then. No, now his name is Rabban. Turning to the Daf, Tavis Berkovici family in honor of them, DY Daf champions, Leo Shamshi Shlafrak, Uncle Freddie, Mr. Gross, and the Refuah Shelaima by our fearless leader in chief, Chaim Gabriel Ben Sivilano, by the members of the Muncie Fire Department, and Shiurim Films Strategic Video Production. Maisu Bodak, Mai Ben Chakiras. So the Gemara says that if two Eidim say we don't know what happened, the Eidus is good. Ask the Gemara, Maya Fidu Shnai Moimrim Pshita. If one Eid says, I don't know what happened, I don't know what color his jacket was, it's good. So the Mishnah says, and even if two, Yishkoyach, in other words, if one says, I don't know the color of his jacket, so we're not going to even ask the other guy what color is his jacket because that's not testimony. You need two Eidim to testify. So if both of them don't know the color of the jacket, of course it's okay. Of course it's good. So he says a big chiddush. The Gemara argues later. He says, no, we're trying to say a case that the edus is no good. What happened? Check out this pasuk. One of the most famous pasuk in the Torah. It says every testimony is two edim. So why does the Torah say three? Major chiddush. To tell you that all three are in the same box. If you get one of them to prove, if you can prove that one of them is a liar or one of them there's no hazama, kick all three out. All three are no good. I don't need three, two is enough. No, they came together. 100 come together, you get one, all 100 are gone, according to Rebbe Akiva. And that's what the Mishnah is saying. We have good edus, good testimony. He was wearing a blue jacket. I don't know. No, so this we're talking about chakiras, it's not jackets. They asked him, what day of the month was it? Two guys say it was on the 21st of the month. And one guy says, I don't know. I don't know means you failed the chakira. Get out. Not only do you get out, all three of you have to leave. It's not an edus. Since the Torah says shnayim edim, so two is like three. You get one, you get them all. Nice try, but it says before in the Mishnah, it's good edus, not bad edus. It's not cancelled edus, it's good edus. Ella, I like a different shot, says Rav. Ella Amarava, the same case, but in the chakiras, it is the same exact case, but we don't pass it like Rebbe Akiva. If you get one out of the three, says Rava, we don't pass it like Rebbe Akiva, and therefore, one says, I don't know, edus and kayemes, kiman, the like Rebbe Akiva, we don't pass it like Rebbe Akiva. Says Gemara's story. Rav Kahana and Rav Safra Tonu Sanhedrin Bei Rabba. They were learning Masechta Sanhedrin by the Gadol Adar by Rabba. Pagabahu Rabbi Bar Chama. What's the first thing somebody asks you when you learn in the yeshiva of a Gadol Adar? Nu zog say shtickle Torah from your Rebbe from Rabba. Omar Lu Mayim Rusu Baba Sanhedrin Bei Rabba. Tell me something from Sanhedrin from Rabba. Amrilei Umayam Rina Baba Sanhedrin Gredasa. And if we didn't learn by Rabba. What? We just learned from the art scroll. My kashilach. Well, no, faheras, even without Rabbah. What do we need Rabbah for? Now, at this point, Rabbi Bar Chama could have been a little mean to them, and he could have ripped them apart. He could have asked them questions they wouldn't know what's flying. That's what's matched from the Gemara. He went easy on them. So the Mishnah tells us, what's the difference between a chakir and a bedika? If one of the Edom says, I don't know, Chakira is if one of them says I don't know, it's batal. Bedika is if one of them says I don't know, it's kayam. He asks him a question. Michdi individi deraisa. Chakira is what's the deraisa? Huh? Bedika is what's the deraisa? So if both deraisa, mashta chakira is mashta bedika is. So how come you get off the hook if one of them doesn't know a bedika? It's deraisa. How come? He's okay. Amri, so they told him a great answer. If you don't know what date, you don't know the place, so I can't do hazama. If I can't do hazama, we said, it's not a eidos. But if I don't know the color of the car, the size of the fig, the color of the fig, you can still do it. By the way, there's a guest over there. I didn't say Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? From where? Oh, Shalom Aleichem. Lately, the Antwerpen people are very stark. A few of them flew in for the Siyum here. They came for the Shabbos in America. The mamish stark. So mamish good chabura. Yishkoyach. Send them regards. Says the Gemara on Therapin. So the way Rashi, I thought it meant if you said this, you probably said a lot of good stuff. No, then Rashi says, if this is what you're telling me, then he said not good stuff, a lot of stuff. He must have said a lot of good things. So he gave him a compliment. Wow, you must have learned a lot of things over there. Amrilei, so they told him, because you went easy on us, you acted like an Anov. Amrina Batuva, you could have ripped us apart, but because you were nice to us, we were able to articulate a nice pshat. Had you been mean to us, we wouldn't even be able to come up with one pshat. Let's just do this little sugya here. Echad Oimer, because that's what our new guest who lives here, he asked me this question. In the Mishnah it says if one Eid says it happened on the second day of the month and the other one says the third day of the month, it's a good Eidus. Ad Kama. At what point of the month does a person not figure out, and the reason is because maybe it was a 30-day month, maybe it was a 29-day month. Okay, people don't know sometimes. Ad Kama, but at what point does a person realize that he made a mistake, that the Rosh Chodesh happened and this time? Most of the month, until the 16th of the month, let's say. But once you make a mistake in one day after the 16th, the Eidus is no good. And I'll prove it to you. But if they made a mistake in 2 days, then the Eidus is no good. Why? Maybe a person made a mistake. He didn't realize that Rosh Chodesh, 2 months in a row, he didn't realize Rosh Chodesh was on the 30th. He thought it's on the 29th. So he made a mistake of 2 days now. There's a whole, where's this chart? Right over here. I forgot where it is. Okay, somewhere. I passed it. Here, this one. So, the point is that most people figure this thing out halfway through the month, a little bit more than halfway through the month, and by that time you shouldn't be making mistakes on the date of the month. The Gemara says no. People do make mistakes. In other words, from our Mishnah you can't prove it. And that's what I told our guest. You. From our Mishnah you can't prove it. The halacha is like you. That after the Roiv of the month, you shouldn't be making. But from our Mishnah not. Why? A person remembers the shofar blowing. Today, for Shabbos, if you notice, we blow. There's 2 sirens before Shabbos. 1, maybe you don't pay attention. 2, not. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. Tomorrow there will be a shir here in the morning, but not in the evening.